what's up YouTubers and beat makers? It's your boy Alto, my producer. I'm back with another tutorial for you all. In this video, I'm looking out for all the producers out there who want to be more efficient when making beats. I'm going to be showing you how you can improve your workflow to be more productive and making beats much more easier. Now, we all have our own methods to this madness. This is just my way to improve my productivity and to get more beat ideas out there consistently and quickly. And in this video, I'm using Logic Pro, but you can literally use any of these methods in any other DAW that you can think of. So whether you're on FL Studio, Ableton, Reason, Studio One, this method can work for you. Now, before I get to the video, what's your method to improving your productivity when making beats? Let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. All right, first things first, let's load up an instance of Logic. All right, so I have my Logic to automatically load up a template that I created. I called this one the Alto template. And it's my standard template, and it helps me be more productive when making beats. I'm gonna break down my template and what I got in there so you can see what kind of things are set in place, what settings I have to help improve my productivity and efficiency when making beats. First, let's start with these stacks here. So the first stack, summing stack that I have, and if you aren't familiar with what a summing stack is, essentially what a summing stack is that this thing here, this yellow folder here, basically summarizes a set of instruments. And what it does is it makes it easier to categorize my beat by maybe instrument, drums, etc. It allows me to place a single effect that can affect the whole group of instruments or the whole group that I've grouped together. Or I can even go in and individually edit individual instruments or drums, etc. that are underneath this group that I've created. For example, let's say I want to, create a low pass filter, so every instrument sounds underwater, and automate that, and so every instrument in this group will sound that way. This is an easy, quick way to do that. It helps improve my efficiency when making effects apply to a multitude of instruments. So very quickly on how to create a summing folder, I'm gonna go ahead and unstack these. I'm gonna flatten this. All right, so now I've made these into two separate, so they're not categorized in a folder or anything like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and select both of them. I'm going to right click on my mouse, or you can do this on your trackpad as well. Right click on your trackpad and hit create track. You have the option of a summing stack. It's defined here. Basically, it's a multi-purpose track stack, which allows you to place single effects, etc. To a variety of different sounds. And then folder stack basically is just a folder containing your sounds in it. First thing that you're gonna notice underneath that is that I already have an instrument loaded up. This helps me get right into it. So if I want to start with a melody, or there's just something in my head that I want to get out and put it on, then it's there, quick and easy for me to do. For this instance, I decided to load up Triton. Triton's a really good instrument because it has a variety of different sounds. Let's go ahead and see what they got. Keyboard, organ, bell, mallet, strings, vocal, brass, woodwinds, guitars, it's all there. And I like having an instrument like this loaded up already because depending on what vibe or what's in my head, I might have the instrument thinking that I want it to sound, and this will just help me easily put something in. It might not be the best sounding thing, but it'll help get the idea out right away. And when you're trying to be efficient, quick, and get as many beats out as possible, just getting ideas out as quick as possible is important. One way to ensure that you can find these sounds pretty quickly is create a favorites. Almost every VST will have a favorite feature. So you want to make sure that you favorite some of your favorite sounds. So in this case, Korg Triton does have a favorite feature, and it's right here. So I'm going to click on this favorite, and I'm going to find my favorite piano sound. They have a variety of different instruments, and I'm still going through and favoriting more of my instruments, but this just helps be more productive. I usually start with a piano, and then depending on the melody that I create, I'll switch it out with another instrument. Now, Korg does cost money to get. If you do not have Korg, there are some other alternatives that don't cost anything. Logic has built-in Alchemy, which has a variety of different instruments, and I believe there's also a piano in there. FL Studio users, you can load up Sakura. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and summarize this instrument folder and expand this machine folder. So Maschine, if you're not familiar with it, it's a product by Native Instruments. It's both hardware and software. I have the hardware and the software at my disposal to use for my music production. It's probably my favorite tool to use for drums and inserting drums. So in Maschine, I again have another template here that I use for my production. So I'm gonna go ahead and load up that template. So I just loaded up my template, and as you can see here, I have just a whole bunch of empty sounds because I haven't loaded any drums in here yet. What's special about my template is that I have it set up so that way whenever I click on a pad here, so as you can see as it's clicking on pads, the different numbers are lighting up here on the screen. Essentially, I've routed it so that the MIDI reads that, so it recognizes that I'm pressing that as MIDI. But I've also routed each sound to its own individual track. So what does that allow me to do? It allows me to record sounds individually and then tweak them as needed. So if I need that kick drum to kick a little harder, or for that hi-hat to just down a little bit on its highs because it's a little too strong, or lower the volume on the snare because it's just a little punching through the mix too much, I can do that individually without affecting all of my drums. But it also allows me to edit on the fly. If I need to readjust or quantize some drums, I can do that. So the way that I have that set up within Maschine is essentially I have it, the output, so basically sending the sound to a different track for each one. So this one is being sent to external 1, which also stands for auxiliary 1, or auxiliary 2, auxiliary 3, and so on all the way through 16. So Maschine only goes up to right now, at least in this version right now, to a 16x stereo output. And that's how I loaded up my Maschine there as the instrument, and it's already set to go. Now, to go even further and improve my productivity, I always favorite some of my go-to sounds. So if I want to start with drums, for example, and want a good set of drums, maybe I'll change it out to some better drums later, but just to get some idea or the drum pattern that I'm hearing in my head out quickly, I have a favorite list that I use. Again, favorites are a go-to. Use favorites for productivity. So next up on my things that I want to cover in terms of my template to help improve my productivity when making beats is including my tag. Often I'll forget to insert a tag when I'm in the middle of making a beat. So what I've done is include it in my template, so I no longer forget to include my tag. Every beat that I make, there's going to be a tag in there. And just so y'all can hear my tag, nothing special, just recorded it myself using my microphone.
I also did it again.
Now the last thing on my template to improve my productivity, so that way I can quickly move from beat to beat or just lay beat ideas out quickly, is I place a limiter on my master channel or my out channel. In this case, the master channel is a stereo out because I can't place any effects on the master channel in Logic. I'm making sure that nothing ever clips when I make my music. So even when I'm making the beat, nothing's clipping, so nothing sounds harsh, nothing's being distorted beyond belief. So what I do is I lower the output so it doesn't pass -1 dB, and I usually raise all my beats up at least 5 decibels. And that helps all my beats sound loud when I go into exporting it, etc. So that includes my method to help you be more efficient when making beats. I know I'm going to be using this more regularly in 2022, so I can keep banging out as many beats as I can in 2022. I challenge you to definitely make more beats and use a method like this. Again, let me know in the comments below what your method is and if you're going to be making beats this year. All right, homies, and that's it. Go make your beats.